Hello and welcome to AutoCAD Chapter 15. Today you'll be able to create construction lines using Xline, create polygons by Circumscribe, Inscribe, and edge methods, create rectangles and donuts, create spline curves, create ellipses using the axis end method, divide to and add points at equal parts of an object, draw multiple part lines with Mline to create multiline styles with Mstyles, use the sketch command to create freehand sketch lines, create a boundary by picking inside of a closed area, and know that the objects forming a closed shape can be combined into one region or object. So let's start here on my screen, Xline. So we'll type in Xline. Xline is like a reference line you can put somewhere. You can choose your angle like this. It has no endpoint, just a theoretical midpoint. So you could zoom all the way out. It just keeps going and going and going. We'll put it at an angle, let's say 45 degrees. And you have your X-line set. Let's try that again, 45 degrees. There we go. So I set two X-lines. It has no endpoint again. See, it just goes on forever. Only a theoretical midpoint. So that is a real quick tutorial on X-lines. X-lines you'll see a little bit. And then you can also create a ray, which is similar to an X-line. Difference between ray is ray goes one direction. So you see with ray, it stops right here at the point I pick. No matter what point you pick, if I pick over here, then ray starts there. Ray starts where you pick. Difference between ray and X-line. All right, let's talk about creating rectangles. Rectangles are just a polygon or a polyline, a bunch of polylines forming a rectangle. It's this tool here. And there's also the polygon tool that I wanted to teach you. I have here one that is inscribed and one that is out inside a circle and outside a circle. So if you look at how to do this, you say, all right, I want to make a polygon. I want it to have 5 sides. I want it to be in the center of this circle and circumscribed a round circle. So when you choose the circle, it does that. And if you want it inscribed inside the circle, then you do the same thing. Pick your, we'll do 6 sides this time. 5, sorry. We'll go to the middle. You say this time I want it inscribed, so it will go inside of the circle. That is how you make those right there. I showed you rectangle. Now, what if you want this rectangle to have curved, rounded edges? I've talked about this with some of you, but this is called a fillet. It's right here, or you can type in FIL, and it comes up in your menu and say, I want the radius. So I hit R, enter, and I say, whoop, fillet, R, enter, the radius of 1, enter. Then I select this object and this object, and it automatically curves it for me. Now, what if I want to look like this? That's called a chamfer. That is under fillet right here, or you can just type in SHCHAM, and there it is. You say, all right, I want these corners to be chamfered. And now they do that. So that's your quick tutorial of fillet and of chamfer. So with the rectangle command, let's go back to that, REC. There are different commands. You have chamfer, elevation, fillet, thickness, or width, or you can just draw it, which is what we normally do. Also, if you want to rotate it, we have the rotate command, which is RO. Or again, you can hit this rotate button right here. Select the object, select the base point, and you can rotate it any direction that you want to. All right, let's talk about donuts. These are donuts. You type DON, donut comes up. Specify inside diameter 2, specify outside diameter 5. All right, there's your donut, and it's filled. All right, now what if you don't want your donut to be filled? What if you want it to have lines in it instead? Well, you would go to your donut command. You would type in fill mode. 1 for filled, 0 for not. And now, as you see, Once I regenerate the drawing by typing RE, enter, RE is regen. Now these are not filled. If I want to go back, fill mode, 1, regen my drawing, and now they're all filled again. All right, let's talk about splines. We haven't really talked about that. It's SP lines. So polylines with, I don't really know what the S stands for, to be honest with you, but P lines. A spline, the curve of a spline is defined by 2 points. So SPLINE, enter, and you just start selecting your points and it draws the curve for you. This is great if you're like following a bunch of points. Say if you're doing some surveying work and you're following a bunch of points, you can just go right along those points and it'll make whatever you need. That's your spline. And that's how that works. Again, this is quick because I know these have been taking forever. So we're trying to get through them as fast as possible. If you need to construct an ellipse that represents a circular hole drilled into an inclined plane, you know the whole diameter and angle of the plane, you can use ellipse and the rotation option. We're not going to worry about that much because we're not rotating very much yet in 3 dimensions because we're not there in the book. All right, the divide command finds equal intervals along an object and divides it. Let's talk about the divide command. So say you have this right here and you want to divide it into 4 objects. So you say divide, select object to divide right there, select segments, say 3 segments. Now this is divided, if you look, into 3 segments. It shows you where those segments are. It doesn't actually cut it up, it just shows you where those segments are, but now you can trim at those exact points. And you've got 4 segments, 3 segments, 1, 2, 3. So that's kind of a quick option of how divide works. The measure command is similar to divide in point objects or blocks and inserted along objects. The measure command, however, allows you to designate the length of a segment rather than the number of segments. Okay, so measure, select an object to measure. Let's measure this object right here. Specify segments. I want 8 segments. I don't know why I did that. I didn't do it right. But anyway, we don't really use that command very often, but I know it's on the test. It's going to ask you about the measure command. All right, so multiline. What is multiline? This is multiline. So Mline. So here, and it draws more than 1 line at a time. It's useful, say, if you're drawing walls of a house or something like that. Very useful for you to use the multiline command, and each multiline can be saved, so you can make up your own multilines under multiline styles. Hang on a second. Multiline style or name. So under Mline, you type style, and it can give you different style options. There are no styles loaded. We would have to create one, and we're not going that far into AutoCAD yet. So it is not. Let's talk about Sketch. Sketch is a little bit different. Sketch is literally like a drawing pad. You just click where you're sketching. So Sketch is literally kind of like a drawing pad. Again, we don't use Sketch very often, and it's not working correctly for me this morning like it did yesterday for some reason, because things don't always go good when you need it to. So this should be sketching lines, but it's not working, so I'm gonna have to look into that. All right, so as you see, you click and let go, and it draws these sketch lines. So it's a command that, again, one of those things that I don't really use at all, but I know there's a question about sketch on the test, and it says it's not recommended to use snap or ortho when using sketch lines. That is correct. You do not want to use those. You can choose polylines or splines or different types you want to. Now, solid is another thing, is to make a solid. This is a solid right here, a little different than a P line. I'm going to turn this into a solid. So this was just 4 lines. Now it fills it. If I can find that top corner again. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It did that. Now there's different ways to fill it, obviously. Let's try it again. Maybe I remember what it. Okay, let's try it again. SOLIDS. Again, guys, these are commands I don't ever use. All right, there we go. We filled it. That is now a solid object. It's got a fill in the middle of it. You can change the fill under the hatch command. So right now it's solid. You can make it other things as well. But I created a hatch called a solid right there. Now let's talk about what we did here. I took this device. It showed you how to cut them up. Let me go to the book real quick. So in order to make a boundary, I'm going to draw this over again, draw a rectangle here, draw a circle here, and take this and move it up here just for the sake of this example. All right, now if I want to make a boundary out of this, like boundary, then you pick your points. I want it to be this right here, enter. Now, as you can see, this has been cut out of the rest of it. So we have created our own boundary. The original objects still remain, they're right here. But this right here is now the boundary that you have created out of that. So it's a way to take complex shapes and make something out of them. All right, and we also have this sucker here. Let me show you how I did that. So you draw a circle. You guys already know how to do this, a circular array. Select, we're going to draw another circle at the top of this. And then we're going to do an array, and we're going to make this centered around this. And we're going to make about 30 of them. All right, then we are going to explode everything. Like I did at that time. Nope. All right, now they're all individual objects. And let me look at my book here. All right, now if you want to make this, you could trim every single one of these. You could go to region, select objects, this and these. I've created 2 regions now. Let's try that again. So for the regions, oh yeah, I can't type. Select all this. Now I've created all those regions. Now I can use the subtract command. Select this line and these. Try that again, subtract. Select this line, enter. Select all of these outside circles, maybe. And there you go. That's a whole lot easier than having to trim all that off. So let me show you that one more time. First, you make this a region. So REGION, enter. Select objects. We select all these, enter. That is turned into a region. Then you say subtract. I want this object, and you hit enter, and then you say, I want all of these circles. Make sure and don't select the big circle again. That's why I'm selecting carefully like I am. Enter, and it subtracts all that for you and leaves you with this right here. So that is a quick run through of chapter 15, sorry. For you guys. I know it was a little disheveled. I apologize, but that is, oh, Revcloud. I didn't show you Revcloud. So if you want to make a revision on a drawing, say you want to change something about this, you can select this object and you can say, all right, I want to draw a revision cloud around this thing right here. Sorry about that, guys. Let's try it again. Vision around this. Select axis right here. All right. Well, anyway, it looks like this when you do it. It's not working for me. So anyhow, we'll talk about it in class. I don't think there's any revision clouds on the assignment. So that is a very quick run through. Again, I'm trying to keep these things as short as I can. When you're in class, the book will help you. It's got all the information in it. So y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you at the next one.